All right, everyone, back again. This is a Run That Back recap for UFC 285, Jones versus Gane. Again, here's your host. Well, one of your hosts, Oni, and the other is.
Lucky here.
All right, man. How you been, man? You good?
Yeah, man. It's good, man.
Amazing. We had some crazy fights at 285.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Some
we did.
wildness. Um, it, I'll tell you, I was expecting some things, and I wasn't expecting others. Um, I gotta say though, I was very thoroughly entertained by just about every bout that happened. Like I don't really think there was really a bad fight on the card. All these fights pretty much delivered.
Yeah, yeah. Depending on who you rooting for, you might have a bad night, but other than that, yeah,
Yep,
it
yep.
was a good event.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna just do like a quick recap of the event, give our thoughts on it. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. So put that down below if you wanna, just give your thoughts, your predictions, or whatever on what happened, or even up the upcoming fights for 286. So 285. It the prelims were pretty decent. I'm glad my guy Cody pulled it off. I was very pleased to see that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
he needed it. He really needed it. So
A
it's
lot
good
of
to
people
see.
was worried that he might get knocked out again.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad it didn't happen. Um, but yeah, not too much to say about the prelim cards. They were solid too, but the meat and potatoes was the main card. That's where
Yeah.
all the good stuff really took place, and we'll touch a bit on the earlier fights and get a little bit more in depth on the other ones. So I guess the first one was Bo Nickel versus Jamie Pickett.
Yeah.
Good fight, very good fight. And in the end, I mean, for how long it lasted, we got a round one submission.
Yeah. I would say Bo Nichols, he's definitely upcoming talent for sure.
Yeah, yep. 4-0 now in the UFC. Um, so that was a solid one. Moving on up to Mateus Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. Now this is one that I I didn't see to its completion, so I'm gonna have to watch that back. But you did. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel like Turner was just kind of too tennis, like he wasn't
Mm,
really going in as he should. Uh,
yeah.
Even though he has the reach, I feel like he wasn't even using that effectively.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, maybe because of the fact that the opponent that he was fighting is short notice and he might have a different game plan for the
Mm,
other, another opponent, but still, as a MMA fighter, you can't just always just structure your training within a game plan for a specific fighter. You have to structure yourself in terms of improving your skill as whole.
definitely.
You know what I mean? So it be like in the UFC, in MMA, stuff like this happens all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fighter falling out, fighter missing weight, So to me,
Injuries, all the stuff.
exactly. So for a fighter, they have to be always ready for any type of change. So
Yep.
to me, it kind of exposes him for being, in some ways, ill prepared in my eye.
Not
You
able to
know?
really adapt. Yeah.
Yeah, because to me, like you've been training. It doesn't
Yep.
matter if your opponent got switched. Your opponent got less time training for you than you have training all together
All
for this
together
fight.
for his camp. Right. Right.
So to
And
me,
he's sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, go. I'm just like, to me, just like you don't have an excuse.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
go
was
on.
also thinking like the bit I did see, Turner would look like a long lightweight, kind of like big in the division, and
Yeah,
from what I saw and what you were telling me as well, it didn't really look like he was using his length uh, that effectively.
yeah,
So something he probably needs to work on in the future going forward. But hey, hats off to Mateus Gamrot. He pulled off a nice win.
Yeah,
And if he Turner should have done more to take the win home, especially if he had more time to train. This guy had 2 weeks notice. He came in, put on a good show, and took home the decision win. So tough luck for Jalen Turner. Maybe he can
I,
pull it
I
off next time.
I feel like sometimes fighters kind of have this in the back of their mind. It's like, oh, I'm gonna use this excuse. I wasn't preparing for this fighter. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
subconsciously they kind of, in some ways, doubted themselves already.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that kind of excuse almost in the back pocket, really.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if I lose,
Yeah,
okay, man, I could just use that as an excuse. Like, well, then you're not really serious with your career, then, are you?
yeah, yeah.
You're not gonna see Jones. You're not gonna hear Jones saying shit like that.
Championship mentality.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he hopefully he just gets over this. And again, congratulations to Mateus Gamrot for that win on short notice.
On short notice, we always love people that comes in and win on short notice.
Oh yeah, oh my god,
Always.
game as hell, love it.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Moving up to the welterweight match, this is one we were interested in, along with the other two we're going to talk about. Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Whew.
Yeah.
Rachmanov comes in with some hype behind him. He was 16-0 when he came in, and then he took the win. So now he's 17-0.
I'm not gonna lie though. Jeff, like, I know Jeff New York. I think he came in short notice as well, because I think he
Yeah,
missed weight.
yeah. Jeff Neal was, if I recall, 4 pounds overweight.
Yep. But
So
they both put on a good fight.
yeah, they put on a good fight. Jeff Neal showcased clean boxing. Like
Yes.
it was satisfying to watch as a boxing fan. His hands, great speed, great angles, good head movement, and all that. But
He threw
whoo,
a couple of, like, overhand on that almost caught Shevkov. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo.
He keeps his stance compact, and he's good movement, all around solid fighter. But I mean, Shavkat, Mr. Rachmanov, chill.
Yeah.
Chill. This man's been on a tear. You know, there was some good
He's
back and
my
forth
Nick.
exchanges, but
He's my upcoming favorite fighter right now. After
yeah,
I just saw.
yeah,
Yes.
I can see why. Doesn't really talk a whole lot. I kind of like that. He just kind of that silent killing machine. I dig
And
that.
yeah, and like one of the stuff that I noticed that he does is what I always preaches is when you break off elbows,
Yes.
short punch. He was doing that throughout the whole fight, throwing the
Yep.
clinch, dirty
Yep.
boxing. I'm just like, yo, I like this guy.
I know
And the
that's your bread
more
and
I,
butter right there. Yep.
yes, like to me, like you're fighting in MMA. You're not fighting one discipline. So
Exactly.
you're allowed to do all these stuff, and why won't you do it?
Yep.
Keep the
Use the
opponent
full.
guessing.
Yeah.
And he was
Definitely.
doing all of that, and I was just loving it. So to me, I definitely interested to see him fight again. And to
Same.
be honest, personally, I won't even mind seeing this fight in the future. Obviously, after Jeff New just lost, he probably need one fight, even just to even challenge Shafkov again.
Hmm.
But I would like to see that rematch when he's actually get like a proper training camp and actually makes weight. I want to see that fight
Yeah, definitely. I
just because
definitely
how
want to see him on the
entertaining it
screen
is.
again. It
No,
was. It was good on good. The stand up was good. The ground game was good. It was an overall entertaining fight wherever these guys took it.
yep. And this fight was so good. Even Dana White came out on the press conference and said, "I know Jeff Neal missed weight, but I'm still gonna give him his full purse because that was an amazing fight."
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't see that. That's good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
usually when fighters miss fight, they take some of the purse, right?
Yeah, they sacrificed some of it to the other fighter. I
Yeah,
believe, right? Yeah.
but Dana White said it. It's like I will give him his purse. That was an
Beautiful.
amazing fight, which it is. Which
Yeah.
it is. They both bang. I know he got choked and tapped, but regardless, yo,
Yep.
before that point, he was giving it to Shevkov in some
Yeah.
ways on the
Yeah. Yeah.
stand-up.
he was doing quite well in the stand up. It's just Rachmanov was able to weather the storm, outlast, and then sink in that submission, which was wild because it literally looked like just like a headlock standing up, but
Yeah,
just so much torque behind it, he had no choice but to just tap.
yeah. And
So again, great.
I think on the press conference, one of the reporter, I guess, throw out an idea. I was like, oh, what about Cody Covington fight Shavkov next? And Dana was like, oh, that sounds like a fun fight. He didn't
Uh,
say it's gonna happen, but if that fight happened, I don't mind watching it.
I would love to watch that fight. Colby has that grind mentality, cardio for days, uh, pretty good stand up and excellent wrestling. So yes, yes, let's see that fight, and
Yeah.
that'd be a great challenge for Rachmanov too.
And some people say like, oh, Shavkov should fight Hamza, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't even know if Hamza could make weight.
I feel like Hamza, if I recall, Hamza I think called him out.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. So yeah, I don't know if Hamza could make that. This man is big. It's a big boy.
I
So
think Hamza should just stick to middleweight.
yeah,
He like it's hard to sell fight with Hamza in the welterweight when he can't make weight. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like he
yep.
missed weight twice, as far as I know.
Yeah,
So
so yeah, it's tough to for him to get there. So
yeah,
it would put the fight in like a kind of a precarious position because it might not happen, or if it does happen, the hype kind of might get derailed because he's going to come in heavy again, gets an advantage, and people will have questions after depending on how the fight.
can't even fight for the title like that. You know what I mean?
Nope. Yep. There it goes. Like yeah, that's the main thing is that just becomes like a no contest for the belt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had Rachmanov take that one in a submission win, round 3. It was like like a neck crank,
Yeah.
standing neck crank. Yeah, so yeah, that
He
squeeze gets
he
on.
got
It's
John
tight.
Jones.
Exactly right. When John Jones hit that standing one on Machida, whew,
Yeah, I thought
shades of
Machida
that
was
for
dead
sure.
that day.
The way he slumped down, ooh, yeah, brutal. But then now moving on to the co-main event, women's flyweight championship. Shevchenko versus Grasso, and this is the one that really surprised me. Surprised you too, I believe.
Oh yeah, I did in before the event start. I was kind of worried about the stand up when it comes to uh
Grasso?
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, no, when it comes to Grasso and Valentuna, I'm like because I've seen some highlight. I feel like Grasso is a solid boxer,
Hmm.
and
Which
especially
we
like
saw.
yeah, and like especially she's Mexican, and you know Mexican with their boxing, like they
Clean,
take that
crisp.
serious. Yeah,
Yup.
so yeah, and she displayed it.
Yeah. There were
Yeah,
multiple things in that fight where I was just like, oh, that's got to be your base. Because even the way when Valentina was trying to like circle away, she was cutting off the cage in how I would kind of describe a boxer would.
yeah, yeah.
Didn't cross her feet, sidestep, kept her hands up close, tucked right under her chin, and she just cut off angles, and was landing some pretty dirty shots on the stand up.
She was, man. Like she landed a lot of significant shots. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
in some ways, like when I first watched the fight, I did give the first 3 rounds to the champ, to Valentina, but
Hmm.
after when I rewatch it, I think I gave the first round
To
to
Grasso?
Grasso.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where a lot, like some of those strikes were really landing heavy. So yeah, I agree with that. But then the champ just started coming in with like the technical stuff,
and the
takedowns,
takedown.
um, some good striking herself. And
Don't
then she
even
started to
talk
read
about
some of
that
those.
shit.
Huh?
Like the whole takedown shit. Like the ref pissed me off about that, man.
Oh right, yeah. So I don't know what was going on with that ref that night. Because to me, usually when I watch him, he's pretty good. But that night when Shevchenko worked pretty hard to get Grasso down to that position, uh,
I
he
mean, he
stood
just
them up,
stood like
and
okay. What's weird to me is that he was giving them like commands like you girls better work or something. I'm like they are working.
yeah, exactly.
What are you looking at? Like Valentina is working. You don't
Yeah, how would she
see
even get her in
Grasso
that position if she
resisting?
wasn't working?
Yeah, like if she wasn't working, then Grasso would have stood up, right?
Exactly,
If Grasso
exactly.
wasn't working, then Valentina would have freaking full mount and
Pound her
you
out.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't happen because they were both working. So when he stood them up, even Joe Rogan's like, yo, why did they stand him up, yo? He's
Yep.
like, even Joe Rogan was like, yo, Valentina's like worked her butt off to get to that spot. Like, why'd you stand her up?
Yep.
And I was like the same. I'm like, what are you
Same. Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Like,
So
they gotta know how to like identify like a fighter when they're working and when they're just laying there, just wasting time. And that wasn't wasting time.
no, there was activity happening on the ground. It's just, I guess it wasn't the activity he wanted to see, but it's like, buddy, you're there to ref. It's not what your preference is. It's
You,
what's allowed in the ring or at the
yeah,
octagon rather. Like
exactly. You
you
don't
can't
dictate
do
where the
that.
fight goes, dude. Like, what are you
Exactly.
doing? You're a ref.
So we had the ref do that. He stood them up, and then on top of that, he didn't call that illegal kick
Yeah, that Grasso
that
did.
Grasso did to Shevchenko.
Yeah.
So that that was a weird situation.
I wonder
Uh,
if he Mexican. Like, maybe there's some little bias there. Like, cause
I
to
think it
me,
was
it's like,
Mark Herzog. I don't think so, but hey, who knows, man? You never know. People have their own biases. They want things to go a certain way or give an edge to one side or one or another. But I just don't know. It was a
yeah.
weird decision. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me
What?
of almost every decision that happens in NYC.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Notoriously terrible refereeing. Don't know what happens. It's like when the UFC goes to NYC that the refs just become completely. Yeah,
Sonic.
yeah, yeah. Y'all don't get that. That's an inside joke.
It's,
We might.
yeah.
I don't even think we can explain it without getting canceled. But yeah,
Yeah. Maybe one day.
one day when we're big enough, right?
Yeah. We'll explain to you what Sonic
Yeah,
means.
we'll let y'all know what that means. But yeah, so the refing was a little iffy in that, but then after that stand up happened, Valentina was still doing solid work.
I know she took her back down, but still, like I
Yep.
understand she won that. She won that round, even
Hmm.
though people will be like, oh yo, yeah. Even though after the rest stood him up, she took him back down. She won that round anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I'm like, no, it does matter because you
It
don't
really
know
does.
what would have happened
Yes.
at that moment. You don't know what Valentina was actually working for at that moment. What
Hmm.
if she passed? You know what I mean? To like a side guard. You know what I mean? Or what if
Yeah.
she passed to somehow to full mount? Or past a certain part where she could just do a submission. You know what I mean? Who knows? But the fact that he stood her up, even though she won that round, we don't know
It'll
what could have happened.
it'll always be a question now. It'll
Yeah.
always be a fucking question because also from that position, what does she like to do? She likes to go into that crucifix, lock people's
Hmm.
arms up, and just start feeding them elbows. We
Which
don't
she did
know
in the
now.
previous round,
Yeah, she did that bit in the previous round. We don't know if that could have happened in that first takedown she was able to secure. So
which
it,
caused more damage on Grasso. You know what I mean?
yeah, the accumulation of those potential hits could have been game changing. We don't know that now because my man decided to stand them up from a position where they were clearly working in. So it's disappointing. It's disappointing, like that specific scenario. But the more disappointing thing was Valentini attempting that spinning heel kick
In the fourth round, right?
in the fourth round. I'll preface this by saying I'm not a fighter and I'm not the one in the cage. So I understand there's an element of, she did what she thought was the right move at the time. That being said, when you throw such a big, almost telegraphed move like that and don't mask it, you can't do that on a fresh opponent. And Grasso wasn't tired at that point, I don't believe. I didn't
Yeah,
think she was gassed. She was
yeah.
still mobile. She wasn't rocked or anything, and she just tried to throw such a big technique at her.
Grasso's
Uh,
29, so she's still got a very decent gas tank, I
yeah.
would say.
And if boxing is her base, which it looked like it was, boxers and their cardio, come on.
Yeah, it's notorious good when it
Exactly.
compared to
Right.
an
So
MMA fighter.
yeah, exactly. So it was a strange choice. Maybe she saw something we didn't see. I can concede that point, no problem. But at the time when she decided to throw it with her back against the cage, she had nowhere else to go. Um,
Yeah,
just a
and that's the
just a, a
thing.
hard decision.
On top of that, it's like because that was a spinning heel kick to the body.
Yeah.
She stopped building up those leg shots and the body shot after the first round. I remember.
Yep.
Like it, like to me, like, and I understand why she kind of stopped or even slowed down the leg kick and the body kick. Is because Grasso was switching stance.
Yep.
Like, oh man, this girl was just, oh man,
Back
amazing
and forth. Yep.
when it comes to her boxing. Like
It was beautiful.
her hand is always tucked close. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Always protected. Her hands are always up protecting her face, and she switches so seamlessly.
yep.
Like when I was watching it the second time, like, yo, when did she switch? Like I have to wind it back to watch it again. I'm like, yo, when did she switch her stance? Let me
It's because
wind it
she's
back.
almost in that squared up stance, so it's very subtle
Yeah,
when she switches to like
the way
each
how
different
she
stance,
switches
orthodox
it,
or southpaw.
I noticed it's like when she's walking. Like when
Mm,
she's like walking or moving, and then she would just switch. It's kind of seemingly go with her movement. So it's like, if you don't pay attention to it, you'll miss it.
yeah.
But I
Yep.
think that's where Valentina just kind of stopped because the moment that she switched to southpaw, it kind of more televised her kick. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's unfortunate that that she tried to do that technique
Even
right
she
at that
said it.
moment.
Even she herself said it herself. Like that was a mistake that she should not do.
Yeah.
Which is rightfully so. Everyone was saying that. Like, why did you do that kick at that moment?
Yeah, and it's not even like taking action at that moment. It's just the kind of action she took because to me she'd been low kicking and body kicking. So to me the next thing to kind of throw off your opponent would have been head kicks right after because you kind of drop their guard. They're kind of expecting, okay, these lower kicks to like the lower torso, the legs, and whatnot. And that's almost a Valentina special. She liked to soften the body up, and then she'll throw a head kicking every now and then.
Yeah.
So,
And for this one, if she would have not only softened her Grasso's body, but she will also like cut down her gas tank every time she goes for the body.
yes,
But
yes,
because she didn't do that, that's why Grasso, when it got to like the fourth round, she was still good.
good. Yeah, yeah. So
Good
there
for
was a
her.
couple mistakes. Yeah, yeah, there were a couple mistakes made. Um, but then when she did that kick, and then like Grasso took advantage extremely quickly. So to her credit, she saw a mistake and exploited it very quick.
She
Um,
actually trained for that, eh?
yeah, it's like so she hopped on her, became a backpack, and at that moment, I'm like, okay, Valentina's gonna defend this, but it was too late. It was
Yo,
already
Ami,
in.
she literally did what Connor did right before Connor went out to fight Aldo. She was doing that in the locker room. She was
Dang.
practicing that. Her like the person that her path guy was doing that. Like literally, like that exact spinning heel kick, and you could see Grasso jumped on him, went to the back, boom, boom,
Mm,
boom. So she
wow.
was. like they were pretty much training for that. It was part of their camp in some way.
I need to. I can't wait to watch that back. I want to see that. That's crazy. And if so, hey,
Yeah,
their camp and their coach and her trainer, like they did their research. That was
those are
good.
those footage I think UFC released after, because I think those are just like footage that they have a camera in there while they're warming up and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, she came prepared. She came to fight, of course. I'm gonna be. I'll admit it. I didn't really give her much of a chance. I didn't really see any of her highlights or anything. It's just we knew Valentina had been so dominant for so long. It was almost kind of a toss away. Like, ah, man, she'll take this too. But when you think back, even the last fight with Talia Santos, she kind of struggled. Like some people thought she lost that fight.
yeah,
So we can now see the divisions catching up to some of these champs, and it's good. And like you said when we were talking before, it makes everything exciting, right? Because like, everything's kind of switched up now, kind of shakes up all these divisions. So it's a great thing to see, even though it kind of sucks for Valentina. But
yeah, yeah, man. But I did,
yeah,
for me, like I said, like I did watch a highlight right before the event started, and I that's why I was like, oh man, like I think Valentina might be in a
in
little bit
trouble
of
on
a
the stand up.
trouble on the
Yeah,
stand up, and
yeah, yeah.
which it is. Because to
Yep,
me, if she would have shut her body down, just keep going for the body, you know what I mean, beat her up, maybe during that fourth round, we might have a different result.
yeah, yeah.
But
True.
because Valentina, she didn't do that. She just spent all her time holding her down. Well, I won't say hold her down, but like just working on the ground. But while she was on the ground, she wasn't even beating her body. So to me, I'm just like, that's a boxer. You need to beat up the body, man.
Yep.
You
Hopefully,
need to
something
shut
she
down the
takes
tank.
to the next fight. If they, well, they will run into each other again. So hopefully,
Oh
she,
yeah, yeah,
changes up the approach when it comes to this contender because she's pretty damn good. She's now the champion, um, and just able to come back and put on a good show and maybe even take that belt back.
yo. You know
Um,
what people are saying though? People
yep,
are saying that Valentunas don't deserve a rematch.
that's foolishness.
That's what people are saying, and I'm like,
I don't even give that any credit or any credence. That's stupid. She's been dominant for this long. That'd be like not giving DJ an immediate rematch if he lost a thing. Silly.
right? It's like saying that to like Nunes too, right?
Yep, yep. That's
Like,
stupid.
yeah. So
You always give a champion who's been dominant a rematch just out of respect for their dominant streak. I don't want to hear any of that
right,
shit.
this like
No.
it's not the fight like Jong and Seo Gang. Well, Jong's different, you know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But let's not say
This was
Jong. It's not like
competitive, and she was
yeah,
winning till that point. So
it's not like it's Glover and Hill fighting for the
exactly.
vacate title. They're not fighting for a vacate title. Valentunas, like you said, she's been dominant for like years. She defended her title numerous times.
Yep,
And these people are telling me that she doesn't deserve a rematch just because her last performance was not that great and she lost this fight. And I'm like, a win is a win. I
yep,
don't care what you're talking about. Yeah, I would agree that her last performance wasn't all that great. I
yep.
admit that. You know what I mean? But she still won.
Exactly.
And how long she's been dominant?
Yeah,
Come on.
no, just out of pure respect and
Exactly.
yeah, respect to her legacy and whatnot. Yeah, you can't say she doesn't deserve a rematch. So nah, I ain't even entertaining that shit. That's just people, a lot of those armchair warriors just talking shit. No, you got to give respect to Valentina Shevchenko just for the length and the dominance of her reign when she was at the top. I still believe she has a great chance to come back and win. So until that time, I hope she trains hard. Hope Alexa Grasso trains hard, and congrats to her for the win. That round four submission was slick as shit, and it was good stuff. But yeah, Valentina should come back stronger than ever, and I'm quite sure super motivated, right? Because she wants to make when she comes back. I'm assuming she's going to want to make a statement and reclaim that title. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
solid one. And then Now, of course, moving to the main event. This was yo, bro. How long we been anticipating this man's return to the octagon?
3 years.
Oh my god. Oh, golly.
It was
three
a long wait.
years. 3 years. In the interim, Jones, while we were waiting for you, you know who we had, friend? We had DJ. That's all we had. That's all we had. We had DJ. And
Yeah,
now Jones came back, and oh my god, bro, did he put on a fucking show for as short as that shit was.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. He did not
yeah.
disappoint.
No, definitely not. But Gong did.
Oh, don't even get me started, because God made my prediction look stupid. Like, if y'all go back and listen to my prediction, so my prediction was round 4 TKO, because I thought Gon would put up a fight, and I also thought Jones would come in and try to do what he did to OSP, which is kind of feel it out, get his ring cage sense back, and then go for the finish. My next buddy at work was like, I feel like round 2, late in the rounds, maybe early round 3, KO submission. And Chucky here, you can tell them what your prediction was.
Oh, I said round three submission by Jones.
He said round 3 submission. So John Jones took a look at all 3 of our predictions, was like, okay, all right, yeah, and then just said, fuck all that shit, threw that shit out the side.
I got my game plan.
He said, yep, exactly. And he said, oh, you know what that plan is? And we're like, huh? What do you mean, Jones? He's like,
We're
round
going
1.
home early.
Round 1 submission.
Going
Thank you.
home early.
Holy crow. Bro.
Oh man,
So, okay. The round started, and then he got hit with a low blow.
yeah. Yeah.
And when that happened, I'm like, that's usually not a good sign. You know, when a guy gets that low blow afterwards, it's very hard for him to come back
Yeah.
and like take the
Oh,
round.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, sure. Go
He
ahead.
he did say in the press conference that that low blow didn't really hurt like that, but
Oh,
he,
okay.
yeah, but the only reason that he said he voiced it out to the ref is that he knows that Gong does stuff like this.
Really
Yeah, supposedly
interesting.
Jones been studying Gong. He's like Gong does stuff like this. There was like I think a few fights that Jones said that Gong actually hit the opponent the back of the head a
I've
few
actually,
times.
I'm pretty sure I've seen one of those
Yeah,
clips too.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay, okay.
so Jones just want to be like, I want to make the ref know
Just
that
aware
that
of the
did happen.
situation.
Yeah.
Right,
So you
right.
know what I mean. So he
Okay.
doesn't, so Gong doesn't just let it get away, or the ref let it get away, and Gong just keep doing shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah. But in the heat of the moment, I was like, okay, that's not good. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Because
exactly.
usually it
Same,
doesn't.
same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then, Chunky Joan wraps this guy up and pulls him to the ground effortlessly. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. I
Me
knew Gon,
neither.
his wrestling was suspect. His ground game was suspect. Everybody knew that.
We didn't know it was this stuff.
I didn't know he was gonna pull him down and just start playing with him like a newborn baby. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that at all.
That's more like he pulled him down because he owed him money, guy. Oh my god.
He dragged this man to the ground and then just started working. And I was watching there like, my goodness,
I swear, both
this
of
is
the
the
entries
GOAT.
combined is longer than the fight.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it really was. It was like back in the day if you watched a Tyson match. You hear
Right?
the music come on, the chains clank, and he starts walking down. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a good one. He just knocked that motherfucker clean in 20 seconds. You're like, oh, well, damn, got my money's worth, but kind of feel a little bit cheated.
But you go to the washroom one time, you miss that.
Yeah, you walk back like, fuck, I gotta watch the replays now. That's it.
Well,
Shit.
what happened?
Like that's Spider-Man
That's
from
pretty
Marvel
much
vs.
what it.
Capcom. What
Yeah,
happened?
yeah. That's pretty much what it was. Like on that fight, it
Yeah,
was just amazing.
it was great to see, like, to see this man back in his element, completely confident on the walk. He looked calm, composed. He was having a good time. Compared kind of contrast to Gon, who looked a little unready for the challenge. I'll say. During the build up and stuff, he looked fine. When he walked out, mm, yeah, he wasn't. He didn't seem super confident. That might just be me. Um, but when they were in the ring now, Jones just shows again and again that he is the GOAT.
Yeah, he's on like a different class, yo.
This is a different level than a lot of these guys. And this is no disrespect to any of these heavyweights. A lot of these guys are just beasts in their own right, but John Jones is a different animal entirely. Entirely.
Yeah,
Cyril Gahn, to me, still is upcoming. He's upcoming. Like he's still a great fighter. He still has tons of potential. But when you go up against John Jones, it's very hard to it's very hard to prepare for that. Number one, how are you going to find another guy with that size, height, reach to try to train against, and that
and that
style?
IQ
Exactly, and the fight IQ.
is hard. It's hard to find like a training partner that could emulate that,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah. Very difficult. So, I'm sure that must have been a tough fight to train for Silagan. Um, but for John Jones, man, like it's Jones. It's Jones. Jones is I wouldn't want to say once in a lifetime, but he's a rare talent. It's a
Oh,
very rare
oh yeah,
talent.
oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
and I believe he signed for like an 8 fight contract or something like that, but I
Oh
don't see
yeah,
him
he's
fighting
not.
8 more times.
Nah,
I see him fighting maybe 2 more times.
yeah.
Stipe would be one. I still kind of hold out hope for that Ngannou fight, so maybe that'll be the other. Maybe it'll be something else. But
Well,
yeah, I see him
I
fighting
don't know.
twice.
Dana said on the like he said it even before the press conference that that will never happen.
Dana
Like
said the women's division would never happen. So
yeah, he did say that, but he did say that again in the press conference when he was asked again, and he's
yeah,
like, I tried to make that happen. He's like, it didn't happen, so
we'll
I
see.
don't think it's
Francis
gonna
might be
happen.
like, "Yo, I really actually want that money now." We'll see.
Yeah, it depends on if Francis even serious about boxing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Because at this moment right now, we haven't heard anything about Francis'
Nope,
upcoming boxing fight.
nope. And he's been sending little. Well, I don't know if he's been sending multiple, but I did see the one message he sent about congrats to Jones or something, and he said sign the heavyweight king. So he's still trying to throw little jabs there, and I'm like,
He
but
just
man,
stated, he did say today, I think it was on Twitter somewhere, he did say he would like to fight Jones, but he don't think that will happen because Jones, he knows that Jones signed like an 8 fight deal, so he even said it's like, oh, Jones signing his new deal, so don't think that's gonna
mhm.
happen. So it sounds like Francis not gonna go back to the UFC. So the only way
Yeah,
for that fight to even happen is when Jones actually coming out of the UFC to fight him.
yeah. And I mean, Jones is what 34, 35 now, so he might once he does his what we were kind of predicting 2 fights and leaves, maybe that just might set up a super fight.
That
But what promotion? Don't know.
super fight with who?
Jones and Ganu, because they're both going to be
Ooh.
what free agents at that point, right?
Well, Jones has 8 fights.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to fight all of those. I think he's going to do two,
Even then,
three.
he can't fight anywhere else under a UFC contract
I know,
unless
but I
unless
bet you he'll ask for release. He'll be like, "Yo, I did my shit."
that's if no, I don't think Dana's gonna release him like that.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Like for a fighter like Jones, I don't think Dana's gonna let him go like Darren Till. You know what I mean?
Not like Darren Till. He's gonna do his couple fights. It's gonna make
Well,
UFC a shitload of
that's the
money.
thing.
And
Darren Till did ask. Dana White said like Darren Till did ask to be released, and Dana granted that. So
okay,
it wasn't like UFC cut him for no reason. It's like Darren Till went up to Dana and asked for release. So I could see that because maybe Dana don't see much value in Darren Till as of right now because of all his consecutive loss.
Yeah.
But for Jones, like if he doesn't lose his UFC title, Dana's not gonna let him go, right? The only way that Jones could even do a boxing match with Francis or something outside the organization is just get blessing from the UFC and Dana, just like Connor. Like at least that's how I see. It. But like remember, I think we talked about this before we have this broadcast. Is that at that time when you and I talked about it, Jones didn't even he didn't even re up with UFC yet. He was still fighting under the two fight that's under his contract still.
Mm.
So if he didn't re up, the Gone fight would have been one fight, and then he would have one more fight left, and that would have been the Steve Bay. I mean, yeah, that would have been the Steve Bay fight, and
Right.
he would have been free agent. But the fact that he re up with UFC prior to this fight, so it's like I don't know if he could even ever get out without the
I'm
grace
still.
of
I still think there's a chance. I think there's too much money to be made off of that, and everybody would want a piece of that. So I feel like
that.
that's still
If
on the table.
that is if Francis wins
Oh
outside
yeah.
the organization,
Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure.
and he hasn't been active. He hasn't even decided who he's gonna fight.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. We're
who
still waiting
knows?
for him to pick what, either Fury or Wilder.
Wilder already offered him
Yeah, and he
two
didn't
fight
accept that
deal.
shit,
He hasn't responded yet. He accepted the Ferry deal.
which was
The
the
top,
weird one, right?
yeah, the one with the Mike Tyson as a ref, fighting
They're
on
doing it in the
like 4 ounce
octagon or some
gloves
shit.
in the
Yeah.
octagon and shit. And I'm just like, dude, what is this, man? Like an exhibition?
Some shit like that. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, you guys are not Mayweather, man. You guys are not retired. Like, get in the freaking boxing ring and box. What
Yeah.
y'all
Get
doing?
proper. Do it legit
Even
if you're gonna
Mayweather, he
do it.
ain't even boxing in like cage. Man is boxing in the ring.
Yep. Doing exhibition and still making bank at what, 50?
Yeah, and these guys
Damn.
are like, I don't know what they're doing. And to me, in some ways, I'm kind of a little bit like looking at friends is like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. I'm
Like,
looking at him that way too now, because I remember before I was kind of like, oh man, like UFC's fucking Francis, da da da, and now I'm just like, maybe UFC and Dana were right. Maybe he is just tough to work with.
maybe. Maybe all the stuff that he asked for, knowing that UFC is not going to give him what he requested on his
Exactly.
contract, which is fighter
Yep.
union and all these stuff. So in some ways, it maybe just Francis' way of saying, "This is my way or no way."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
True. Yeah. So, I guess back to wrapping up this thing here. Jones gone. Jones just ran through him, first round submission, 2 minutes 4 seconds. That's
Yeah,
madness, Chucky. That's madness.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Khan was surprised when he was
He
still
looked
sitting
surprised.
down. He was
Yeah,
surprised.
he looked shocked. And I was like, hey man, I mean, I understand. I understand. I was kind of shocked watching too. So imagine him being in the cage. Damn.
I bet you Khan stopped playing FIFA.
Right? Damn. Oh man. Like overall though, solid event. Like I can't complain. And for UFC, like they have, I guess the next three are looking fire, including the fight nights, which is just stellar. I cannot wait. Um, the next fight
This
nine,
week,
yeah,
this
yeah, the
weekend.
fight night is this weekend. Headlining it, Peter Yan and Marab Velishvili. There we go. Um, always love watching Peter Yan fight. So that's going to be a good one. Got Alexander Volkov in the co-main event. It's going to be a banger. Heavyweight's always a banger.
I still
Uh,
think Pyong won the O'Malley fight. I just
yes,
do.
he sure did. Don't know how that fucking ruling went through, but you know, judges in UFC sometimes, might be smoking a little of that coca. So, fuck, what can you do? Just can't leave it to the judges. Unfortunately, I mean, you should be able to, but you can't. Oh man. So we have that coming up, and then what do we have here? Do I spy with my big ass eyes UFC 286? Yes, I do. Edwards and Usman. Holy shit. Edwards Usman main event. Gaethje Fizayev co-main event. What?
Oh,
UFC once again blessing us. Oh,
yes, yeah.
Vittori and fucking Dolidze,
We don't
Jonah
know any of
Wood,
the people in the
Carolina.
premium, but judging by the record, it should be entertaining.
Yes, yes. We got two undefeated people there, so hey, always down. Same with the early prelims. Again, the record's looking pretty good, pretty good. Some a little sketchy, but most of them pretty good. Then past 286 to the UFC on ESPN that happens Saturday, March 25th, 7 p.m. Remember, kids, don't be
Yeah,
like Oni and watch at fucking 10. It's
yeah.
not going to work out for you. Uh, Marlon Vera and Corey Sandhagen. That's gonna be a banger. I can't wait for that too. Cole Main, Holly Holm, and Yana Kanetskaya. That should be good. I don't think I've seen Holly Holm in a while, so it'd be good to see her out there again.
Yeah, yeah.
And then featherweight, we got Bruce Leroy. Although he doesn't use that anymore, right?
No, I don't think so.
Alex Caceres versus Nate
That was like
Landwehr.
his young days.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty jokes. Got that. Andrew Lee, Macy Barber. Macy Barber, I recall her. She's pretty good. And I don't know the last guy's the middleweight. And then the prelim card, once again, not bad. This one's not bad. I don't know a lot of these people on here, so I guess I got to do my research for that fight. And then I'm only going to touch on the main event for UFC 287, Pereira Adesanya. Again, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're
Oh
pretty
my
much gonna
goodness.
touch him on the whole main card, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good shit. So yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming up, and oh my goodness, Chucky, the fight after 287 has Max Holloway headlining. What?
Oh, that's fight night, right? I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
UFC. Thank you.
Spoiling
These
us.
are some great events y'all putting on.
Edward Barboza's on it. What?
Yeah. Right.
What?
Oh my goodness. So we got some Barbosa. Man, don't tell me. Hold on. I just looked down and saw Clay Guida's fighting on this card. Get out of here. That's my man. That's my man. Clay Guida's still fighting. Let's go. All
Hey,
right.
Guida? Like what?
Yeah.
Premium?
Yeah. No, he's not. He's on the. Yeah, he's on the fight night. That's awesome. Him and Lando Venata. I like watching those guys fight. So it's good to see them still out there, trading leather. I'm down. So yeah, we got a good lineup of UFC coming up. No, I'm very excited, and I'm happy we're in this time. We get all these crazy fights. We talked a bit before about how the division got shaken up by a lot of these divisions got shaken up in the last couple months with some champs being dethroned and whatnot. So hey, I'm down to see what the rest of these fighters are going to do with these little shakeups here.
Well, what do you think about the Jones versus Steve Bay that's happening? Because that's gonna be the fight. Dana already pretty much said it.
I love Stipe. I think Stipe is a fantastic heavyweight, one of the best of all time. Stipe is not ready for Jones.
People
I
say that
think
Steve Bay is the GOAT. Do you feel that way?
Stipe is the goat.
People say, even John Jones, he said himself, he's like, yo, Steve Bay is considered the GOAT in the heavyweight. I'm like, what? I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe just me. I don't consider Steve Bay the GOAT.
Hmm.
I don't know about you. Me personally, no disrespect to Steve Bay. He's a very good heavyweight,
The
very good
goat for
champion.
heavyweight.
Yeah, but the GOAT for heavyweight, I don't know. And that's prior to Jones coming into the heavyweight
I would
division.
probably. I'd probably still say Francis though.
Yeah, but people say it's Steve A. Even Jones.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just Jones throwing shade at Francis for calling Steve
Hey,
A.
maybe. Like, don't get me wrong. Stipe is a fantastic heavyweight. Like I
Yeah,
said, he's one of the greatest, but the goat of heavyweight, I'd probably still say that's Ngannou. I mean, if you want to talk about people employed currently at UFC, well, then now you kind of got to say Jones.
yeah.
uh, so I don't know. It's a hard statement to really make a call on. Is he the goat? Mm,
Yeah. You think he's
mm,
gonna win? No,
I
right?
don't think he's gonna win though. No, no. I believe Jones should win this. Stand up. Jones wins at that. I believe he's a bit longer, and his striking's a bit more crisp and unorthodox. And then on the wrestling, he beats him on the wrestling too. I would imagine.
It's weird because some people like DC said that Steve A has probably better wrestling than Jones.
Interesting.
I
Now
don't
I'll
know.
give that some credit because DC's fought both, so I
Yeah.
feel like he would have a good um, grasp on that. But I also know he doesn't like Jones, so
And
I
Jones
don't
did
know.
beat him in his own game too.
Yeah, like so I don't know how much of that is real analytic analysis talk or some personal bias coming in. So I don't know. I would still say Jones probably has better wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. See. And what do you
Yeah.
think is good? What do you think is next for Cyril Gahn?
For Cyril Gahn, at one, well, I wanted to say a nice fight for him overall would probably be Curtis Blades, but Curtis Blades, I believe, is fighting someone already,
Yeah, he is.
right? Yeah. Okay.
He's
So,
I think he's fighting Sergey Pavlovich or something like that.
that's it. Yeah. So honestly, I'm not quite sure what Gon should do right now.
I
He
think he
already beat
should take
Tai
the winner of
Tufasa, right?
that.
Yeah, he already
Say
beat
what?
Tai. He already beat Tai.
Yeah. I
And
think
to
he should
go,
take the winner of the Sergey and Curtis fight. Like,
yeah, yeah, I'm
it's
down
just
with
that
that.
if Curtis Blade wins, I feel like it's gonna be the same thing. He's gonna get out wrestled. Cause Curtis Blade, that man
Yeah,
could wrestle.
yeah, he does have good wrestling, but yeah, yeah, no, I would like to see that fight. So, Gon getting the winner of Sergey and Blades, and then I guess the winner of that.
I think he did invite Cyril Gahn to his place to train for like year and a half, 2 years.
Cyril Gon would be a moron to not take up that offer.
I know he even invited his coach. He was like, "Yo, bring your coach. If you scared that your coach is not gonna be there with you and stuff like that, and bring him."
So he extended that whole package to him. Yo,
Khabib,
he should
yep.
definitely take it. He should a thousand
Khabib.
percent take it.
If he is
Shore up
serious,
your weakness with the
yep,
one of the greatest
greatest
grapplers of
wrestler.
all time. Oh my
Yep.
goodness, take it up, please, Gon. Take it up. If you're listening to this at all, Gon, take that offer, please. I know we're just some random motherfuckers on YouTube, but please take that offer.
Yeah,
Your
it will
striking is
do him
all
good.
right because you were kickbox, but yo, get that wrestling. Get that Dagestani wrestling.
His wrestling is his weakest link right now.
Yeah, shore up that weakness and become a complete beast before Jones is gone, and try to get that back.
Yeah, because when Jones gone, he's gone.
Yep, he's
And
35 now, right?
yeah, Jones
Yeah.
not young. Yeah,
So we've been watching this man fight for a long time now. we grew up with this man.
Since the
Uh,
Ultimate Fighter, since he first came into the sport.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like time's going. Doesn't have a lot of time left to try to get that win back, or even just fight him again. So he should definitely take that offer up, come back, knock out a couple, not necessarily knock out, but beat a couple top guys, and then um, see if he can challenge Joan again and try to put on a better performance. Because I guarantee, and this is obviously no revelation, but he's got to be feeling like shit. First round didn't really get to throw anything except a groin shot. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. He said that out of the loss that he had, the Francis wasn't to him. He's like the Francis loss wasn't really like a real loss. He was like, this one is a real loss.
Yeah,
And I'm like, damn. Oof.
yeah,
You shouldn't
it's
be
got to
fighting
hit him hard.
Siva.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, it's a good card. I hope to see big things from Cyril Gahn going forward, and of course, I expect greatness from Jones. So let's just see what happens for him next. Since it's Stipe, I'm looking forward to that fight too. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say there?
No. That's it, man.
I think we covered it all, right?
Yeah, we cover pretty much everything. We'll get to 286 next time. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
Y'all,
briefly
y'all,
briefly
y'all
talked
stay
about
tuned.
it, but yeah, I mean,
Mm,
we'll get more in depth in when the weeks come. You know, during fight week,
definitely,
I would say. Yeah.
definitely. Yep. All right. So that was the run that back recap for UFC 285. I hope you all enjoyed that. Again, it's your host Oni, and
Chucky right here.
boom, there you go. So to all y'all motherfuckers in YouTube land, take it easy, peace, and keep enjoying the fights.
Yeah, yeah. And we're
And we're
out.
out. Peace, everybody. Deuces.
Peace.